world's ending, take a look around. You're tuned into the truth, or at least the truest sound. The path to a better planet, humanity's crescendo. Here's the plan, the regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto.
Alrighty, welcome to the Regular Man's Manifesto. I'm here with Jay McClintock and Cody Pyard. My name's Chase Scribner. Today we're going to be covering two topics, one being the Patriot Act and two being 3D printing. And then we're going to be doing a top 5, and that is going to be the top 5 best little things. And if you see me, I put my hands up. It said little things, quotation.
The little things in life that keep us going.
Alright, Jay's going to be leading the discussion in the Patriot Act, so I'll hand it over to him.
Alright, well, what does everybody here think about it?
It's bullshit.
Bullshit?
Rabble.
Scary or not, Chase?
Yeah, I guess from everything I've read about it, it seems pretty scary.
Okay, well, I mean, it seems likely that none of us have experienced firsthand the consequences of the Patriot Act. Firsthand, right? Like, we've never been detained, questioned, or anything like that. But our information has been collected.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off. They're collecting all the data on you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So that actually is a part of it that was just recently amended, so that now the NSA needs to ask for the information from the cell phone providers.
Okay, but do they still have the information that they had?
They still have mountains of information, yes.
Yeah, so they have this whole profile on you that they just created.
Is it used like keywords and things like that?
And everything. All of your data. Every number you've ever called.
Yeah. But the odds that you're going to show up or anything like that seems slim. But, I mean, some of us might be on a database or like a watch list at this point in time.
Yeah, but isn't it like Orwellian, like, that they're surveilling all of their own citizens? Yeah. Everyone is being
it's like, but why? Well, they vigorously went after this. The NSA went out and created all these loopholes, started just hacking like experts to get all this information. But why?
Because they say it's for terrorism, but really it's just for control. Yeah. I believe, and I hate that they named it the Patriot Act, which actually isn't. The full name of it is Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism Act of 2001.
Look at the date, though. October 26th. Not even 2 months later. Yeah. Barely more than a month. How does that...
You get no time.
You're talking about from like...
9/11.
From 9/11.
They capitalized on the fear of the American people to take away our freedoms.
Yeah, Congress, like, there's been congressmen and senators that have come out and they said they hadn't even read it all. It's a 400-page document that not every single person had read, that they voted into law, and only one senator dissented.
I think that's common practice, honestly, among our Congress.
It's like, but how? How could it blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. So, like, that brings me to the first question is, do you guys think it's easier for the federal government to discover and investigate terrorists?
Absolutely not. I think it's all a sham. Everything that they're saying about this is used to but to catch terrorists and stop them is bullshit. And they really just want the information on all of the Americans for control purposes, because the NSA has caught no one. Not one terrorist.
Yeah, they haven't been able to pinpoint any major plots that they've disrupted. They really haven't shown any results. There's zero results.
We're spending millions and millions of dollars on this this whole new agency that has done nothing for us.
Exactly.
But look into all of our data.
I think Chase has a question for us. He's looking over there like...
I was just going to refer to is, like, did it help catch people or not?
No.
Zero. In any hearings so far, they have not been able to, like, say any plots that they've foiled. They say, oh, we've stopped on this, but you can't get any details or anything like that.
And I mean, part of it is like what we're talking about, how they're collecting our data and stuff. We didn't know that until 2015. Was it 14 or 15 when Snowden came out and leaked all of the information?
Yeah. The interesting thing that I actually read during the research for this was, so George Bush created this NSA spying program where they started collecting this massive amounts of data. But it wasn't sanctioned, like Congress didn't know about it. It wasn't something that they actually included with the Patriot Act as like something they're supposed to start doing now. They just started doing it, and then towards the end they said, oh yeah, but it's protected by this clause in the Patriot Act that sanctions like the collection of information needed for an investigation.
It's like an open-ended clause that just makes it okay.
So basically it said that they're like, well, what specifically are you using with this information? And they said, well, it's used to like build databases that help build predictive systems, like figure people out beforehand. Is what was their reasoning.
So that's, I mean, that just means that they're looking at everything you do. It's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know if there's statistics on this or not, but the terrorist attacks here domestically have gone up drastically and worldwide since this has occurred. Wouldn't you say?
No, I would say they haven't.
They haven't?
I would say, okay, there's 9/11. There's a few instances where, like, yeah, there's some bigger terrorist attacks, but we also have, like, ISIS and all these groups that are getting bigger. But I think the media just, like, we hear it all the time. And even, like, when there's a mass shooting or something, it's no longer, like, a shooting. It's a terror attack. They just jump to that conclusion, like it's a terror attack.
Yeah, so we're just
drenched
in these.
The labeling's different now. So
the labeling is different. So probably something that wouldn't have been considered a terror attack beforehand is now considered a terror attack.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Chase? Was that a dead fly that you just killed on the table?
I missed it.
You missed it. Chase just terror attacked a fly here in the studio, but
yeah,
he just got away.
I mean, it's bugging me. It's flying all around our heads here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna die by the end of this. That's for sure.
No, this is cruelty-free zone.
Yeah,
a cruelty-free zone. Well, I'm gonna kill this fly for sure.
So one of the things that came up in the Patriot Act is they define terrorism as you are attempting to harm people with the goal of stopping government or stopping people or just stopping something.
Well, my question is couldn't they just? You could be a suspect of a terror crime, and you lose all of your freedoms at that point. When you're a suspect, you lose all your freedoms, and that's just like not what our whole system is set up to be.
Yeah.
You're not guilty yet. You're innocent, so you shouldn't be losing any freedoms until you're guilty.
And the thing that could get you target was ideologies. That's it. Just being radical somewhat. You're now targeted, and you lose your freedoms.
So if I'm like chilling on my phone, and I'm like texting somebody and I'm talking to them about this bomb that I made. Yeah. That's an example. Like that would pop up, and then this company would be like, "Oh, hey, this guy just talked about a bomb."
Well, I'm not in the mechanisms, but that's the way that it's seeming.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it's like I don't know if text messages are monitored.
So that's because like. That's why I asked earlier. You said they're collecting everything. They're collecting every little bit thing. Well, if I say bomb on my phone or via text message, like there's proof that that's something that they're collecting.
Yeah.
It is being collected, but is it being investigated?
See, so from what I thought of it is, it would collect like certain things. Like it would collect like the location, and it would collect like dates and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it would like form it all together so they could kind of like determine where you're at or where you're going or
that's the metadata
or why you made these phone calls or like whatever. I thought
that's from your cell phone provider. Yes.
Like if that is true, that's all they're collecting, then what are they doing? Just building a retroactive case after the fact that this terror attack took place? Oh, they can say, yeah, he was a terrorist because he did these things. They're not actually thwarting any terror attacks if that's all they're collecting, which is bullshit because that's just all they're telling us.
Well, my problem is like, I guess my main question would be is, what do they gain from collecting it?
What does Google gain by collecting your information? What does any company gain?
Well, Google would gain the fact that then they can sell you ads and stuff, and a company would pay for that. What is the government getting from it?
They know how to influence us. That's what it is, I think.
Yeah.
Influence based?
Yeah, you can be targeted based on demographics and just like preferences.
Mm-hmm.
They build these databases and we're more easily influenced.
Well, for an example would be like the campaigns going on right now. It's inconceivable that you would run for president without having using a database to go through all this data and target the right people with emails or whatever.
Which, okay, so then that kind of brings me to I got a phone call from something. I don't know how they even got my phone number, but they go, "Hey, are you a Donald Trump fan or something like that?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay, what was that? Did you say that you're going to vote for him?" And I'm like, "No." And then they're like, "Okay," and then they just hang up.
I got 2 Bernie Sanders phone calls.
I got a Bernie Sanders one, too.
You never got any? I must have just been... Well, I would Google, the primary results and then look at articles and stuff. I know that I got onto a database because I never gave my number out for something like that. Ever.
Yeah. Why would...
How did they get me?
Well, couldn't they just... I could find your number online probably pretty easily.
But how would you know that I would be a good person to call about Bernie Sanders?
So here's what I was just thinking about the NSA is the government used to go to Google to get that information. Now they've just cut that out where they don't need to go to anybody. They already have that information because they're taking it from you.
So they don't have to pay for it. So that's something.
Yeah, but we're paying for it. We're paying for them to take our information from us.
Yeah, that's the thing. The defense or the intelligence agencies' budgets have doubled since 9/11. Doubled.
So that's just more tax dollars?
Oh, absolutely.
For what, though? But they don't show any results.
They've done nothing.
We're spending all this money, and then
there's not one result.
No, none.
Literally zero.
If there was, it would be
all
over.
Look, we stopped this.
There's a reason
why we're doing this. Look at this great job we just did with the $100 billion you gave us.
$100 billion?
Dude, it's like each agency gets like 20 million.
Damn.
And we'll call it 20 billion actually.
Yeah, they get a lot of money.
Wow.
And if it's even like $1 billion per thing stopped, I wouldn't even call that a win.
Because
there's better ways.
Here's a fact that I have is 3,264 deaths in America from terror attacks from 1995 to 2014, and the majority of those are on 9/11. So one event. So one event basically took away a shit ton of our freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many people being killed by terror attacks.
More people die from suicide.
Yeah,
we could spend money on suicide prevention and save way more lives.
But then if they did that, they would be like, "Hey, take these antidepressant pills."
But it's just like the same as being like, okay, a lot of people get killed by sharks. Let's create this giant agency to kill sharks, but for the next 15 years, they kill 0 sharks. That's absurd.
Yeah, and nobody bats an eye. Oh gosh, where's the accountability is what we're looking at here. And then another thing is the FICA court that determines whether these things that they're doing are constitutional or not. It's a secret court with judges that decide these things. We don't pick these judges; they're appointed. How is this that? Feels like that undermines the entire concept of a judge to me.
It's not democracy right there.
Yeah, is that? What's keeping that judge from ruling that something is constitutional when it's blatantly not?
He doesn't have to answer to anything.
He doesn't. Just his own self, and his own self can be swayed.
Can we figure out who those people are?
Nope. You can never. No, you
don't
can't.
know.
It would take. No, there's no way you're getting that information. Absolutely not. Unless some dude gets drunk at a bar and start going, "I'm a FICA court judge."
Unless Snowden gives it.
I just ruled that those drone bombings last week were perfectly fine. Another thing on this too was the investigation of the lone wolf terrorists. So this is where they're just singling out people for ideologies, and just Google searches, I would imagine. They can conduct these investigations and say that you are now a suspect, and then go to these FICA court judges and get all of your information about your life.
And they can go into your house
And detain
without
you.
you ever knowing. They can go in while you're at work, and you would never know. They could just break in, and they don't need a search warrant. They don't need to tell you about.
Somebody moved my remote!
They don't
I
need
knew it was the FICA court.
no probable cause or anything
Yeah,
like that.
they don't need it.
Yeah. That's something we should be valuing more here in this country. Why we're not.
Well, the question is, like, is there really anything that we can do? Because so many people are like, the Patriot Act is so bad. I've never talked to one person who has been, like, for the Patriot Act. So it's like, well, if we all think it's bad and we can't do anything about it, what's going on here? Do we have any power?
It's been, like, it's still getting renewed. Like, Obama renewed it,
Yeah.
but he took out certain parts of it. What was it? Gosh, I can't remember. He took out the
Cell phone
NSA
thing.
getting all the cell phone
Yeah, now they have to go to the
information.
company to get it.
Mhm. But he still kept, like, the investigating of the lone wolves, all the pretty terrible parts.
Yeah, there's still a lot of your freedoms are being taken away. And it's just all around bad.
Yeah. Civil liberty's gone. We lost it all in one day. 1 month after that one day,
Yeah.
it's all gone.
Alrighty, well, that's going to be wrapping up the Patriot Act. Now we're going to be going into 3D printing. Cody's going to take over on that topic, and I'm assuming he's going to tell us about our adventure that we took today.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we went to the library downtown and inquired about 3D printing because they actually have 5 or 6 3D printers downtown. And it really, for a moment there, it seemed like it was going to be the future, but lately it seems like it's died down. And when we're talking about 3D printing, like, there's the manufacturer side of 3D printing, and then there's, like, the home consumer side of it. And what we got to witness today was the home consumer side, where you basically make, like, trinkets and
What kind of stuff did you guys
little
see
things.
getting printed?
Well, what we seen was, like, this guy was making, like, a catapult.
yeah.
Like, so he was, like, building the little pieces, and he's going to put them together and make this catapult that throws pennies.
Yeah, and then there was like action
The
figures.
future.
There's action figures somebody made, and
a
there
lot
was,
of just like toys.
it was
Strange things, like little things like you'd sit on your desk,
Yeah.
like this little skull, like a little skull like this, but it'd be a 3D printed skull.
Yeah, you put on your desk and
And another thing I noticed too, at least there, were it wasn't a lot of people sitting down and creating their own thing. It was people getting on like websites and downloading
the schematics.
the schematics of it and then uploading it onto the program and then printing it on their printer.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways of doing this. You download previously designed,
Yeah.
or you get onto the...
No, there's actually 3 ways. Because you could download from somebody on the internet and download their schematic and use that, or you could create your own using CAD or another software modeling system. Or he showed us the 3rd way is like you can actually take an item, like he had a bobblehead and he put it down and they had a scanner that would turn it around and 3D scan it in to
That
the
is
system.
cool.
And then you could print that.
So you could create just an unlimited supply of whatever item you've got.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time.
It takes
Which I didn't realize it took that long because we walked in and there's their printers and their printing stuff, and like at the Fort Wayne Library they have just the MakerBot brand. It's a brand. They have like 3 like really nice ones and then like 2 other little ones that were like some cheaper versions or something. But like they had a % done and we were there for maybe an hour and it went from like 78 to 81.
Yeah. I think the one he said was going to take 22 hours to make this just little staircase thing.
Yeah, it's like he said it was like prototype for something. It was like he already had the top made and then now it was being like made the bottom, so it was going to have an enclosed thing.
But I did think the materials were going to cost more. And when we asked him
Yeah.
about it, that item, it was a little bit bigger and it was only going to cost the dude $11 to make.
Yeah.
Right, so is that how this whole industry started? Was in the 80s when this Japanese company started making models. Like they wanted to make models of things they were looking to build, and then they created this device that has grown into the 3D printer that would print these models for them.
Yeah.
That's where this industry comes from.
But I think on a larger scale, because it was never intended for like home use. So it was like manufacturers printing these tools, or like there's actually, you can print like prosthetics. There's all these things,
kinds of things that you can print like nowadays.
Crazy amounts. Like
you can pretty
really
much
cool
3D print anything.
It was used a lot for like jet propulsion systems. Like you could print items that you needed to put into your aircraft.
What an exciting frontier I think we have here.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're on the cusp of, this is something that's going to be, it's like cell phone-like, honestly. It's going to be something everybody has, everybody uses extensively.
Well, like, you could think of it, like I was trying to, like, see how it would be practical at, like, my house. And, like, right now, I just don't see it being practical. Like, because I'm at my house, and I'm like, I don't want to do the dishes. I just want a fork. And I just go to my 3D printer, and I print a fork. But it takes 12 and a half hours to get the fork. I might as well just do the dishes.
No, there's definitely, like, it needs to improve.
Exactly.
But if you think about it like this, like, I was trying to think of practical uses, too. And I think eventually it's going to be in every mechanic's home. Because if they could figure out how I could print this wrench, it's only going to take 10 minutes to print this wrench, and then I use that wrench, and then I take that wrench again and I put it back into my materials to be used again. So it gets recycled. You never have to buy the materials again. You can just print one tool and use it and then reuse it.
What's the process like turning something you've printed back into material?
I think like, you don't do that personally. Like, now I don't think there's like a machine that you throw it into and it melts it and creates it. You buy all of it on like a spool.
It's wire, yeah.
It's all like a spool.
But there's two different versions. There's a spool version, which is the only version that the Fort Wayne Library has.
Spool?
Yeah, it's spools.
It's a spool
of wire that get fed through the machine and then printed in layers. Or there's the other one that is more costly, where it's a liquid and it kind of just pulls it out and like shocks it into form. And that is a version that I think will be like the future.
That's the standard model, you think?
Well, that's like what it is. Like,
it's more expensive, but it's
better.
It's so much faster, and
it's smoother. It like leaves it like the one that just does the spools. Very like abrasive, like it's not smooth.
You can see the
you
layers.
can see the layers, like you can see the layers being produced and just see them in general. Like when you look at something that's created like that from that. I'm trying to remember what the actual word for the powder / liquid one is.
Yeah, it's liquid but I feel like that's the one that you could melt it back down and reuse it right there in your own house.
So I've seen that you can start printing medical supplies and actually, what's the word I'm looking for? New body parts and stuff that like print apart.
It goes all the way, like just some information. It goes all the way, like some people are trying to make actual like working organs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one where this guy bought a 3D printer and made his own hand. Like, he only had one hand. He lost his hand somehow, and he made a prosthetic hand out of that 3D printer, and it saved him thousands of dollars.
Man, we are in an exciting time, because that is the stuff that you see on cartoons.
Yeah.
Or just TV shows, and it's happening now, and like it's not getting reported on. Like, I don't think anybody's really excited about this.
Well, I think it took a huge leap, like when it first came out, and like these companies came about and stuff. Like, cause like just thinking like stock based, 3D printing systems or 3D systems has been around since like the late '80s, and then there's another huge company. It's like Cerasis or something like that. Like them two are like the gold standards. Like they've been in the manufacturing side of it forever, and now they're slowly getting into the consumer side of it, kind of like having like a desktop computer. But what they did is they let all these startup companies create the product, and then they just bought it.
They just bought out all the small companies that did it.
And took their ideas, or just
just
got rid of them?
No, they're still there.
Bought their companies.
Like MakerBot right now is owned by
3D, or is it?
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like that they've seen the future, and we're looking at. We don't want somebody to have a monopoly on this. I don't.
They're
think.
too big. There's at least 2 companies competing against each other, but really, I mean, that's
not enough. That's not enough competition.
That's
like
really
maybe
not.
that's what's driving. Like we've got so many cell phone companies and cell phone providers really driving the cell phone expansion. Like cell phones got really good in a short amount of time, and I think that that demand is going to be the same, but we just need all the competition to really drive it forward.
I feel like cell phones have tapered off in a way. Not to get too sidetracked, but now it's like, okay, well, you have this flagship cell phone, but it's getting beat by these little specs by the other flagship smartphone. So then they only upgrade little by little when they could be upgrading like a ton. And they only do that every couple of years where they upgraded a ton.
You think they're holding back on upgrades?
Absolutely, they're holding back.
What do you think they're
Because
holding back?
they don't need to. They could sell you a new phone every single year. And that's what they want to do. To get these people buying a new phone every year.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the future's going to be like you're buying the most upgraded 3D printer, the one that prints the fastest, gets the newest.
Well, if it turns into where there's only 2 companies and they don't have to one-up each other every year, and they don't have to actually innovate and create something amazing.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
That could be a problem. I'm concerned
See,
about that.
Like even like right now, like if you want to like buy one for your house, like one that you could like use. I mean, they take forever, but you're looking at like $1, $2, $3, up to maybe like $6,000.
Yeah, but you can buy one for like.
You can buy
$300.
cheaper ones too, like off-brand ones. Like this one's the best 3D printer, fully assembled, blah blah. I'm just kind of like on Google searching that stuff. And it's like $500. Like I know on Amazon, you can like look them up, but like if you want like the good ones, like the ones that like are like known for quality
Actually,
and whatnot,
practical usage.
So
and
like
not just messing around.
the ones at the library, like they had some of the older versions of
MakerBot.
MakerBot's ones, but I mean it's $6,500.
Yeah, he was telling us, and they're already obsolete at the Fort Wayne library. They're obsolete.
But you can print your own car.
You can print.
Well, we can talk about that too. In the manufacturing, you can actually. China has a printer where they printed houses. In 10 hours, they printed 3 houses.
What?
They printed a mansion, a full mansion,
12,000 square feet mansion, and
for
like
$160,000.
No way.
yeah. You can look at
How
videos.
big is the machine
That's the future,
printing
man.
this?
It's so what it does is it's a really large machine, and it prints pieces, and then it gets built.
So there's a crew assembling the pieces.
Yeah.
So it's like a prefabricated home, but just like instead of it being made from like wood and nails and stuff, it's made with recycled materials.
Gosh, it's like
So-
the fast food of housing.
There's a
Yeah.
5-story building in China, completely 3D printed. 5 stories.
China's doing
It's
it.
the biggest 3D printed building in the world.
But there's it's just used as like a spectacle.
It's like a
they're
showcase, yeah.
They're not using it for like they're not applying it to.
Nobody wants to live in these things yet.
I don't know if I just don't know how like sturdy they are or not. Like I mean, there was some objects that we grabbed at the library, and like I felt like I could just crush them.
But then there was other ones.
But then
that
there's
were a
other
little
ones
more,
that were real sturdy. So it's
a little
like
more dense. Yeah.
I think it would just depend on the
The
type of
design,
material,
probably.
yeah, the type of material and the design to see how long it would last. But like I was having a conversation with Cody earlier, and he was saying like, well, okay, like say you buy a house and it only costs you $10,000, but it lasts for 10 years. Would you spend another $10,000 in 10 years and get a new one? And I was like, yeah, I mean, probably I would do that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like every 10 years, or let's say it's a little bit more than that. Let's say it's like 50 grand and it lasts you 10 years.
Well, just think about this too. It's a recyclable house. You just break that whole house down and recycle it back into building material.
For the most part, but didn't you say something about plastic, how when you render it down it's not as like strong or whatnot?
Yeah, plastic doesn't degrade well. So when you actually recycle your plastic, it gets put down a grade into like a lesser plastic. It doesn't actually get fully recycled.
Yeah.
So eventually your plastic does wind up in like a landfill.
But that's better than getting one use out.
Yeah,
of it.
it's a delayed it delays the process to landfill.
Interesting. All right, so let's imagine here, like, we'll imagine that 3D printing progresses a little bit farther so that it's quicker, it's cheaper to manufacture, or cheaper to produce. What do you think, which industry profits the most? Which industry just booms under 3D printing?
I think that, of course, like, having the good 3D printers in people's homes is going to be, like, a great thing, like, just like personal computers are. But I think the real, like, money is to be made in the schematics. Because not everybody's going to learn how to use, like, CAD.
Yeah.
You can just, if somebody makes enough models of items and then they just sell them on there to thousands of people, and you can just get on and buy this thing for $5 and then print it at your house, and it's there at your house.
So that's a whole new industry
make a
you're
lot
talking
of money.
about
Yeah.
here. It's just the designing of 3D printed models.
Yes. I
Well,
think that's
it
where
would
the
be like
money's at.
whatever. So like you would basically, so say if you were like a software guy, you would get online and get on CAD and you would create whatever. You would create like a beer bottle, and you would create like a microphone stand. You'd create like a mouse pad and whatever that you wanted to create, and then you would upload those onto certain websites where that they pay for your information. So it's like every time someone downloads it, like kind of like at the App Store when someone creates an app and they put it on there for 99 cents, well, that guy is getting a cut of that 99 cents.
So-
But it would
Great.
have to be unique, though, because anybody can
Yeah.
just scan a beer bottle.
Well, here's the thing too. I was looking at like a
Different
thing
time.
about it would be this level of like personal items that you could have. So like your glasses frames, you could scan your face into your computer and it would create glasses that fit your face, or create a mask for Halloween that would fit your face, like instantly.
I'm imagining a world a lot like The Sims. It's just like you're like continuously constructing your world with the right items. You can tear down your home and rebuild it all in one day.
Well, if you're just thinking about it, like, okay, like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about buying something, well, like, say, wouldn't it kind of make like Amazon a little bit obsolete if you're just like, well, I get on Amazon, this is $10, I could print it for $5 right now. All I
Yeah.
gotta do is buy the schematic for it, and I can print it and have it at my house right now.
Yep, and keep the schematics. Or are we renting these schematics? Is it like a song,
You could
or
lease
is it
them.
like
You could lease them, or you could buy them.
I'm not sure. Well,
we're getting into pirating of schematics?
Oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be pirating.
well, like here, I'm like looking up some like stats of kind of like where it's going, and it says here that the top 3D printed goods is number one is functional parts. It's like 30%.
So like replacement parts for things like phones and
Life pro tip: if you buy a 3D printer, the first thing you should print is replaceable parts for your 3D printer.
I seen that on Reddit too.
Yes, I saw it. I was like, yes, I gotta use that.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. And then it says fits and finish components, so that'd be like small plastic pieces that like put something together pretty much. And then mods, molds, and tooling, which like you talked about tools earlier. And then people just make like certain molds that they can like replicate quickly. And then just visual proof of like the fact that it works is like 10% of like
Yeah.
what it is.
I've seen a lot of things like.
And it's saying there's huge numbers on here.
Oh yeah.
Like saying for this, it's like saying where it's going is in by 2020 it's going to be a $21 billion industry.
It's gonna be huge, and
2013 it was $4 billion, and now it's 2016 it's $7.3 billion.
One thing too, another use for it is like art. There's like gonna be so many artists that utilize this like craft. And then you just 3D print
that's
things
good.
and put them together and paint them, and have these like intricate like designs that they could never make themselves, but a 3D printer can do it.
wow, I didn't even think about that.
Another thing too is the fact that it could be used for like prototyping. So it's like you have this idea for like this, say it's going to be like a new product, you can make it in a 3D printer cheaper and like see it visually.
That's where this whole industry started.
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just thinking that. that'd be-
just to jump like kind of to the I don't know if it would be a negative. I get your guys' idea on it, but a guy has made it so you can 3D print a gun. You can 3D print a fully functional gun that you can shoot it and kill somebody with.
Don't think it shoots. It has to shoot.
It only shoots one bullet.
But it doesn't shoot like 3D printed bullets either.
Yeah, it shoots a real bullet, but it is a full 3D printed gun All you need is one bullet, put it in there, you can shoot the gun, and it will kill somebody. What do you think about that?
I mean,
I don't think
there's nothing you can do about it. Like, yeah, he's just gonna keep.
Yeah.
You gotta just make. Hopefully, people don't want to shoot you or don't want to shoot other people. Is the best we can do to curtail that, I guess.
I don't see it.
Everybody's got a 3D printer and everybody's got this downloading software. You can try and get it off of the like you can take it off the Amazon there, but some dude's gonna be like, all right, I'm going to Pirate Bay to get my gun schematic.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop it at that point. You just couldn't.
Yeah, and I think it's just like such a small segment of what this machine could be that we shouldn't let it deter us from using this technology.
Yeah. The first person that gets killed with this 3D printed gun is gonna be. I mean, it depends on how the media spends it and everything. But if they use it as a means to the Patriot Act, just getting into our lives and stopping things,
take away our freedoms
for our safety,
yeah,
then that would really hold us back.
Take away our ability to 3D print items just because one person wanted to use it for evil.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Another cool thing about 3D printing too is it's not just based on all around plastic. It can print a lot of other different things. Like I was reading that it can print sugar basically. So for cakes and little treats, tasty little things.
No way.
Yeah, you can print sugar and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure it can do copper and some other soft metals.
Okay.
But I don't know if it can do steel or aluminum. I don't think it can do.
But I mean it's early.
But you got to think though
in
too.
its
It has to be a metal that can cool very quickly. So I think that's why plastic is the main thing now, because it comes out hot and melts, and then it's so when the 3D printer is going, it can print a line and you can touch it and it's already fine. It's not
it's
hot.
already solid.
It's solid.
Oh really?
Instant.
It's immediately.
He did
It's
it while we were sitting there.
It's immediate. It's right away. 100. It's not a second off or whatever.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love everything about this. I really do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is awesome.
pretty awesome, interesting thing.
Yeah.
And there's a movie on Netflix too, called Print the Legend or Print a Legend, and it's kind of about the 3D printing industry, but it was mainly about how the story of a couple companies,
The small companies.
Form Labs and
MakerBot.
MakerBot, about their how they went from there was not even any desktop printers, and MakerBot created one, and then the Form Labs created the other one, the
other version
that prints via lasers, and it's pretty interesting. It's more of a drama than anything else, but
Yeah.
Gotta make it interesting.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure. But everyone looks up to this main guy that worked for MakerBot for a while.
Until they fucked it up. MakerBot was fully open source, which means they create the original MakerBot, and then anyone can modify that machine and send their modifications to MakerBot, and if it's an advancement on the machine, they would make that into production. So it's
Wow.
open source hardware, open source software. So they just basically give out all their schematics to everything. And then they made the shift. They got bigger, and then they made the shift to closed source. They were no longer giving out their schematics to people, and it just basically was a slap in the face to the community that helped them become what they were.
Yeah, wow, they got big time. They sold out.
Yeah, they sold out big time, and then they sold to 3D Systems or
The other
one of the
one.
big ones.
I
They
can't
threw-
remember. I can't remember what it
They
is.
sold out big time.
Yeah. So the almighty dollar is going to rule this whole developmental process of the 3D printing.
Absolutely.
But I think us as the users are going to have a lot of input. That's the thing I'm excited about is we're
Stratasys.
Could make they sold out to Stratasys.
Stratasys.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to the everyday use that we're gonna get out of it. Is it gonna turn into that device like your cell phone where you use it almost every day?
I think it will. I really do think it will. As long as it's less than 12 hours to
Yeah.
print a fork, then I think it'll just make sense. I will avoid an hour-long trip into town to go get an item that I can print.
Well,
I will. Even
I mean-
if the price is the same.
I mean, he's talking about printing sweets. What if you could just print your food.
I think honestly it could transition into that somehow.
That's
some way.
almost scary though.
Yeah,
for
that
me.
is scary. That's like some Fifth Element stuff.
Yeah, we should. I mean, that's something that like gives me pause. Like, oh, we should consider this for a second.
Yeah.
But I probably would still eat some if it looked good and smelled good. I
Yeah.
would probably eat it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
If you print a bowl of soup, as soon as that's a thing, then I'm dead broke. I'm gonna have $0 left.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, so this is like
You
super.
can print a bowl, put your soup in.
So this is like super into the future question, I guess. Do you think so? Like we all think like 3D printing is on the up and up. Do you think there is something that could come out, like an innovation that could come out and kill the 3D printing industry before it ever takes off?
Nothing, no, unless it's like you just have virtual reality, maybe like people just live virtually instead of like with tangible items.
And feeding tubes into them?
Yeah,
and
like
they
that's
just
the
live
only
in a
thing I
virtual
think
world?
that would
Matrix?
replace it.
No, I think I thought of one. If somebody figured out how to teleport items, we would no longer need 3D printing.
No, I don't think so.
Who's making the items though?
Because then Amazon could just teleport it to you instantly
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people.
at a better quality.
I think people like one thing that people like about 3D printing is you're creating something in front of you, like they watch it be created. I think that's a big draw for it is the fact it's like you can watch it be created and use it for a functional purpose.
Yeah,
I
but the
think people-
teleportation thing would also get rid of the price and convenience
Yeah.
edge that 3D printing
I think
would
people
have.
want it now, and they want
Yeah.
it cheap as possible.
That's so far fetched.
I know, but I was thinking of just trying to think of something.
Yeah, that would do it to an extent for sure.
Yeah, but like I'll tell you a story about because like 2 years ago when I was like just started working at the bar and I just kind of started making a little bit of money and I was like, man, I really like want to invest. I talked to these guys and they like pretty much convinced me that I should like get into like buying stocks and like investing money and whatnot. So I started doing a little research on 3D printing just in general. Like they were like, you gotta check out this website, the Moxie Fool, and it will tell you about some cool stuff. So I'm like, all right. So I do a little research and this company pops up. It's called Voxeljet, and I do research for like a while, like a couple months. I'm like, okay, I want to just do a buy and flop like in 30 days. So no matter what the price is after 30 days, like you're supposed to sell, no matter what. So I'm like, okay, so I don't buy. Sorry, I try to buy.
Chickened out.
I tried it. I tried buying $1,000 worth of stocks, and when I opened up, it was like $17. So I would have got 170 or whatever stocks, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I missed the initial like IPO of it, and it progressed. A couple days later, when I was gonna go try it again, it was like all the way up to like $26 at this point. So went up almost $10. I was like, you know what, like screw it, like I don't want to do it now. Like I missed the boat, and I chickened out, and I didn't invest. Well, after 30 days, it was like all the way up over like $80. 30 days. So if I would have did initial investment, I would have made some
You had insider information and you didn't use it.
I didn't have insider information. I just like.
That's how Martha Stewart went to jail. Be careful.
No, I just met these guys and they started talking to me about this website, and then I got on this website a lot, and I got like obsessed with it, and then I found this stock that I got obsessed with, and then I wanted it, and then I didn't get it, and then I watched it grow, and I could have made like 10 grand, and I fucked up, and I'm pissed about it.
Crush your dreams.
Yeah. And I haven't looked into any stocks or anything ever since then.
Yeah.
But like now, if you look up Voxeljet's worth, it's not even close to $90.
Is it still at? I mean, is it under 17?
Yeah, it's 487
Ooh.
right now today.
They tanked.
But
here's
if
the
you
thing,
look at
what if you would have done it and you're like get all excited and you're like I'm not gonna sell, they're gonna keep going up, and then they fucking crash.
But that was it's 30 days no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what.
That's the plan. That's the plan everybody has.
Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been going down ever since then.
Well, I think we should end the 3D printing thing on a higher note, like praise of 3D printing.
Okay.
Instead of
Your
scorn
sad
for
story.
the stock market. Like, I want people to be like, oh yeah, if they hear this, that's a cool thing, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would be the first thing you guys would 3D print if you got one? Right now, and it could be done in an hour.
Oh man, an extension of my arm. I think it'd be cool to have like a bionicle like arm extension.
Yeah. That's similar
something
to
like
what mine
cool.
would be.
Like I want to be like a robot.
I would do a sword. I would 3D print a sword, and I would immediately start
Right.
sharpening it. Oh yeah.
You want to go LARP?
Yeah, we can go LARP.
Actually, it was funny because when we were at the library, the guy brought up like people try to come in there and print like machetes and like knives. Like,
There was a
little
part of a gun somebody printed at the library. They printed like
look like a barrel.
the
for it.
end of a barrel of a gun.
And somebody thwarted them, or
No, he just printed it off. It's like they print things off. Like you can go there and print. You can go there and print stuff off. And when it gets like you're not gonna sit there for 12 hours, so you usually leave, and then they just like keep it aside for you, and then
Yeah.
you.
There's
Yeah.
all these notes like come and
Yeah.
pick it up and you have
all right,
to pay
Chase,
for
what
it.
are you 3D printing?
Oh man, I don't know.
Money.
No, like originally I was thinking it'd be cool to like do like coins and like copy things like that, but I'm sure I would think of something functional to use it for. Actually, right now for my gym I need like a chalk bowl, so like I would 3D print a chalk
There
bowl.
you go.
3D printer weight.
Some pants.
You can't 3D print weight.
Why?
It'd have to be metal. Goof.
Yeah.
When we print this plastic
I mean,
weight.
you can 3D print clothes for sure.
Those elastic pants. You might be able to do
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Innovate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure though. But it'd be something functional that like currently I need to buy, but I just haven't, or make something that I need to make, but I just haven't done it yet. So it'd be something like that.
So if you got the first thing you would print is be like whatever you just needed at that moment.
Yeah, most likely something that I needed,
Okay.
or something that I was going to buy or make. So there's another thing I want to make. I could just use a 3D printer for. So I would use it for things that I want made.
There you go. All right. Well, there you have it.
I think that's a good reason for it. And you said that you'd just do an extension of your arm.
That's Cody. I would
Yeah.
do a sword. Jaybird would do a sword. Everybody, Jaybird would do a sword.
Alright, awesome. I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Alrighty, well that's going to be wrapping up our 2 topics. Now we're going to be moving on to our top 5. Our top 5 this week is going to be...
The little things in life.
Oh.
The things that keep you going, that aren't, they're not publicized, but they're those things that just they make life worth living, really. In my opinion.
Alright, I'll start it off with my number 5. Fresh undies right out of the dryer.
On a cold day, or
Oh,
is this
man.
like...
Just any day. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
I don't know about
Just
that.
put 'em right
in the
on.
summertime, when it's
I mean,
it's
I don't live in a-
71 degrees in your house because you got central air and you
I
go
don't
down
live
in your
in a sauna.
basement. Ugh.
Yeah. That's a solid one. That is a solid one, but I can think of circumstances where I'm like, God damn it.
you guys
I
are
would
ripping
really-
down my positive.
I'd like to be
little
free balling it
things.
today.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I could free ball more frequently. All right, my number 5 is going to be coming home to a clean house. So like I live with my girlfriend, and like she doesn't think I ever clean, and I don't think she ever cleans. But when I come home and the whole entire house is clean, I'm like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And she's like, did all these things that like I wasn't expecting. She's like, oh, I mopped the floor. I'm like, you mopped the floor? Yeah, 2 points.
I clean the lids to all the condiments.
Yeah.
All the ketchups, spraying super clean.
You're not
Yeah.
getting beat tonight.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I do not beat
Number
my.
5, not getting beat. All right. My number 5. In the middle of the night, you're sleeping, and you roll over, and you flip the pillow over, and you get that nice cool side.
Oh, the cool side
That's
of the pillow.
the cool
Yes.
side of the pillow is, oh man,
I like that
Oh
one.
man,
That's
that's
a good one.
those are sweet dreams right there. after
That gets you back to sleep.
Yep, it
I
does.
had a sleep one that I was gonna put on my list, but I changed. But we'll talk about some later because I feel like there's a lot that we want to say that maybe won't be in the list. So maybe we'll add a couple more at the end.
Yeah.
Alright. Honorable mentions.
Yeah.
My number 4 is your favorite song comes on the radio.
Nice.
I
Like
love
while
it.
you're kind of
Yeah.
cruising.
Yeah, you're just
Maybe
cruising
you're
along.
driving.
Whenever I'm forced to listen to the radio, I freaking hate it.
Right now,
But-
for me, that's Genghis Khan.
Yes, that
I
song
get
is
a little bit
amazing.
Genghis Khan.
I
Yeah.
always vibe out to
Mike
it.
Snow. I like Mike Snow. He's good.
Mhm.
My number 4 is going to be taking a shower after like a hard day's work. Like you go out and you get all sweaty and dirty, or like I just remember specifically, like I used to work like do landscaping and a couple manual labor jobs, and I'd get like grimy. I'd work like a 12-hour shift.
Don't you love just seeing all that dirt at the bottom of the? Oh, yeah. When I worked tree removal, I had that same thing where it's like, oh, I wonder how dirty I can get the shower today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck this shower.
I just remember,
up.
I remember after like football practice and stuff, I would just go in there and watch all the dirt rush off you.
Yeah, got all this red clay. I don't even remember being around red clay
You
today.
live in Georgia? Fuck.
Yeah, I don't even know. Must have went there. All right, my number 4. Remembering an old song that you used to love. I can't think of an example right now. Oh yeah, last night we were listening to "So You Had a Bad Day." Used to love that song, and that's a song that really just cheers you up.
You gotta put it on instantly.
Yeah, you got it, and then it's just it floods you with memories,
Nostalgia.
the dopamine. Oh man, it's just great.
Nostalgia for sure. My number 3 is returning home on a hot day to an air-conditioned room.
Yeah.
Or just
one
like
of my
walking
favorite-
into air conditioning from it being hot outside is very refreshing.
I feel like a lot of these are gonna be like saving yourself from hot or cold. Putting on warm boxers when it's.
Do you think
60.
it'd be like more saving yourself from coldness? But I think right now, since it's summer, that's like,
Oh man,
it's on our
today
mind.
was what 92 degrees.
It's super humid.
You walk into your, like I worked out in the garage and then it was ridiculously hot. Drank like a whole gallon of water while I was out there, and then I walk inside and it's like 70 degrees. You're just like, oh man, it feels so good.
Just being comfortable.
All right, then I guess talking about the gym, my number 3 is going to be like hitting a PR. So you kind of train for a while and then you hit that 1 pound PR or whatever it is. I think that
For the layman at home, a PR is a personal record. When you get a new amount of weight or a new amount of reps or whatever in weightlifting.
or a time. It
or
could
a
be based
time.
on a time.
That's a new PR. And it's apparently a very satisfactory feeling.
Definitely.
I've not set a whole lot of these in my life.
It's kind of like setting a goal. It's like
Yeah.
setting a goal.
Yeah.
Like you set a goal and then you accomplish a goal. Like I mean that's pretty
And
gratifying.
it's so rare in life you can
definitely.
find like a goal that's really like something you can measure. And that's just a great opportunity to just get. Oh, I hit this goal that I set, and now I have achieved it.
Yeah.
You can put a check mark next to it.
Definitely.
That sounds very
I
very
like that.
satisfactory. All right, my number 3, finding an item on sale after you've already went to go buy it. So you weren't expecting it to get it at this discounted price, and you go show up and it is on sale.
That is a good one.
Oh, what a
man.
fantastic feeling!
Definitely.
Saving that moolah.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Bitch, better save that
It's
money.
like you just made money
Yeah.
back by just seeing
I was
a
already
sign.
going to buy it.
Yes.
Nice. All right, my number 2 is you forget that you have this great food in the fridge, and then you remember. Like that
Oh,
is my
yeah.
favorite thing. Like, oh my god, I have leftover something like pizza or
Oh,
something.
that happened to me
Like,
with
yes.
guacamole. I had some guacamole, and it's been hot as hell here. I got home, I was like, I need something refreshing. And I can't think of a single thing in this world that's more refreshing than guacamole.
Yes, it's the best food ever.
Yeah. I mean, guacamole, though, man.
Okay, but Saturday, after we went paintballing, we fired off an apple in like 97
Oh,
degree
yeah.
weather. It was so good.
Apples and oranges. Yeah,
Those
Yeah.
were
That was
so
amazing.
good. I
Those
did
were
not
refreshing.
really think about like how refreshing an apple is.
It
Delicious.
is. The crunch, the juiciness on a nice hot day,
Can't
that was
beat
that
it.
was on point. But
Can't
we
beat
were
it.
supremely exhausted.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
day.
All right, so my number 2 is going to be hitting all the green lights on your way somewhere, so you get every single green light.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is so rare.
You don't
and
have to
it's
slow
just-
down at all.
Don't you feel like a god when that happens?
Listen here.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty, like it's that movie where he just gets to like get
Yeah.
everywhere he's going in his Ferrari,
Yeah.
Yeah.
doesn't hit a single green light or red light. That's a good one. All right, my next one it's very satisfying to me, but I think it'd be annoying to some people. It's noticing the difference between books and movies. So you've either read the book and went to see the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, this difference, or then you've seen the movie and went and read the book, and then oh yeah, those are so satisfying. It's like you get to see into an alternate universe.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's very satisfying.
At times it's very satisfying. At other times you're like, fuck you, you should not have changed that part.
Yeah.
Or you can see it on the outside of being someone who doesn't read a lot of books. You can be like, I just read that book by watching a movie.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, I don't think
Oh,
that
you
counts.
miss a-
No,
you
I
miss
got
so
counted.
much, man. You miss so
I was
much.
trying to sneak one in.
Yeah. All right. So my number one is unintended naps. Trying to take a nap, but you just like feel like super tired and you just fall out. For me, that is like the best nap ever. And it
I
might-
don't know. I preferred the setup of a nap.
I just
I
love
do.
when it comes on just out of nowhere, and you wake up a couple hours later, and you're like, yeah.
Couple
I'm
hours.
so afraid. Yeah, like
I
you
take.
waste hours.
Oh, I guess I don't really take naps. I take sleep.
Yeah. I take small coma.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I slept for like 100 hours earlier.
Yeah.
You slept for 100 hours? Really? You mean you took a coma? You took a small coma.
Yeah, I would prefer structured naps, honestly. Like, I'm so
I like
afraid
to
of
live
just
my-
an out-of-control wildfire nap.
I like to live my life on the edge.
Yeah, no, mine are. I like setting an alarm. So, like, I like when I'm gonna take a nap, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set this alarm, and then I fall asleep, and then I wake up to the alarm, and, like, regardless of how long I slept for, I'm always like, yeah.
That's
I
the
hate
worst.
alarms. I hate alarms. They
Waking
ruin
up
all the
naturally is the best thing.
I like alarms.
Oh man.
I don't.
I like the
It
way the mind
invades
talks to
your
me. It's like,
dreams.
ba, 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 good morning.
Nope, I
It's
hate
freaking awesome. Wakes me up. I got a smile on my face.
Hate
I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for the day. Here we go.
We're very different people. In the morning.
Yeah. There's alarm people, and then there's non-alarm people. And I'm not sure what all the other distinctions are, but yeah.
The reason why I mainly use an alarm is because I have an irregular sleep schedule, and if I just want to get 8 hours of sleep, I'd be sleeping like 1 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
Waste my whole damn day.
Yep.
Screw that.
I'm trying to cut down on my sleep to 6 hours. Hey, we'll save
Let's save our
that.
sleep cycles for later.
Yeah.
Alrighty, this is my number one then. So my number one is going to be the feeling when you're driving along and a cop's behind you and then he turns away. He turns left or he turns right and you keep going straight, or you turn left and he keeps going straight.
Yeah.
Especially after you've had like 3 beers.
Yeah.
'Cause you're like,
we'll call it 3.
Yeah.
We'll call it 3.
I think that I get that feeling every time. I'll be completely sober.
yeah.
Within the, like, I'm not doing anything wrong, but I'm like, oh, fuck, this cop is behind me.
He's got
He's
you.
going to get me.
Oh yeah, this guy's only got
Hate
2
it,
screws
man.
holding in his license plate. That's a $250
Oh,
fine.
shit.
I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're out to get you.
Well, like I've had trouble like where they follow me because I work at the bar, so I get off at like 4 a.m. And there's times where I'll get followed home by cops and mess with. They'll drive around my car, drive in front of me, and then left me and
Yeah.
around me, and I'm just like, ah, the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, turn off, and then they never pull me over. They always turn off, and I'm
Yeah.
always just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome feeling.
It's a lottery each time. It's like winning the lottery is what that feeling feels like.
Yeah,
All right, my number 1: a beer after mowing the lawn.
this is a good one.
Yeah.
Beer
it's-
after
man.
accomplishing something.
Yeah, just like that association between that fresh cut grass smell and then like probably sitting on a porch. Porch beers are good.
Yep.
Definitely.
And then just like exhaustion beer. Like there's
sweaty.
the 3 elements to just a good session of
You're
drinking.
sweaty and hot, and that
Yeah.
cold. You can feel that cold beverage go all the way down.
And then it's like,
Oh,
wow, I
man.
can't wait for this to dehydrate me in the morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are there any pretzels around?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I'm down for some honorable mentions.
Morning poops. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah,
That is a
coffee
great one.
and then a solid morning poop where it's like it comes out clean. Don't even gotta worry about the toilet paper. I'm gonna do it just ceremoniously, but I'm
I
pretty
was
sure
gonna
I'm
say,
good.
are
to
you
go.
skipping it? Because that's risky.
That is risky, but sometimes it's like I just took a clean one.
The feeling after you leave a Chinese a buffet in general of like, yeah, I definitely got my money's worth.
Yeah, beating a
I
buffet.
wrecked that place.
That is a good one.
They
right
kicked
there.
me out.
Buffet busting.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm a connoisseur at buffet. busting.
Hey, good feeling in life is doing a solid podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It does feel good.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's a good feeling.
Good conversation going on.
All right, well, I think that's going to end the top 5 for us today. Just recapping, we talked about the Patriot Act, and then we talked about 3D printing, and then we brought you guys another top 5. Can't wait for next week. Want to say thank you for listening. Like, comment, review,
Subscribe.
subscribe, all the fun things.
Regular Man's Manifesto.
Yeah, there we go.
Still working on the jingle. We'll get one for you here in a little bit.
See you guys. Thank you.
Regular man's manifesto.